Guys, this is James with the Unofficial Guide. So today we're going to be building just a simple table. It's basically like a writing desk slash table. This one is going to be a small desk for us, and this is a pretty inexpensive way if you don't want to go out and purchase a table yourself. So basically what we got one of these edge glued panels from Lowe's. It's just like this right here. It's pretty simple. It's an inch thick, it's 24 inches wide, and this one is about 48 inches long. And then I found these right here is the hardware. This right here is the hardware for the legs. So you'd want to screw these into the table. And then we've got the legs right here. These right here are just 28-inch round tapered legs that you'd find in the wood section in the back of Lowe's there. So pretty much the only thing you're gonna really need if you don't have a lot of tools is you just need a screwdriver, just a simple Phillips screwdriver. You don't have to have anything fancy like this. This is just what I grabbed. I'm actually not gonna use this because I've got power tools, so I'm gonna use a drill. You just gotta be real careful if you haven't used them, and you don't wanna strip your screws out. So really what you wanna do is check the material that you're screwing to and check the size of the screws you have. So depending on the kit that you buy, if your screws are too long, you might have to get some different screws that are a little shorter so you don't punch through. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna open this up and kind of make this happen. One thing that I'm gonna do a little bit different here, you don't have to do this, but it's just a personal preference, is I'm gonna round over the edges. This is already pre-sanded, so you don't have to worry about sanding the whole thing down. But I'm going to round over the edges so that we don't have any sharp edges here. You can do that with just standard sandpaper, but you could also pick yourself up something like this. This is a corded sander. It's pretty simple to use. They're not real expensive. It's probably about, I don't know, I think this might have been $30 or $40 something. It might have been a little cheaper, don't quote me on that. But yeah, go pick yourself up one. You can get them at pawn shops, or you can get one new for pretty cheap. So right now I'm just gonna start by sanding over the edges here. So really all we're gonna do is just break over the edges with this. If you have, if you've got something else that you wanna do differently, you can. You can also use a router if you really wanna use a router to do that, but we don't need to on this. I'm just gonna break these edges over just like so. One on the side, and then just like this back and forth. And that rounds that off real nicely. Don't have to go too crazy. Now you can see here, it's real nice and smooth. A couple of spots I need to touch up there, but it's pretty quick and easy, especially when you have a sander. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. Okay, so right here on the edges, it kind of looks a little ugly. So that is one part that you're probably gonna wanna sand down because it doesn't look good. You can get splinters from here and it frays a little bit. So I would go ahead and sand down these edges. It's a cut edge. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So we're all done with the sanding. Everything's real nice. It's not sharp anymore. You don't have to worry about these sharp corners and catching little fingers or anything like that. And then what you want to do is just kind of find the prettiest side that you like to be up. Both sides are pretty decent, but I kind of like this side a little bit better. Actually, no, there's a couple of spots on there. So we're going to use the bottom side here as our top, and then we're going to try and find a place to mount our hardware, as long as we can open it without making a mess. So it's pretty simple. Just try and find out exactly where you want your legs. You want to set them in just a little bit. Otherwise, you don't want to really see your hardware. It's not pretty. So we're going to set them in just a little bit. You can measure this, but I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. You can eyeball it and kind of see. But just for video's sake, we'll go ahead and measure it and make sure that everything's nice and perfect. And so whenever we're done, this will be kind of what it looks like. I'll take that off. So they'll look kind of like that all the way around. It's pretty nice. Measure in about 1 inch on each side. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then you can either mark your holes with a Sharpie or a pencil or whatever you got. But as long as you don't have any crazy stuff going on, go ahead and just screw them in. Should lined up nice. Just like that. And always double check each at the end. There's no screw sticking through there, so we're good. Go ahead and throw the rest of them on. Be real careful not to go too fast, especially if you're using a drill. You can strip these little panels out pretty easily. And if you're wondering, these are 3/4 inch screws. They work perfectly. So one thing, you don't have to have everything super perfect. If you twist it just a little bit and it's a little off and it's not absolutely perfect, it's not the end of the world. As long as you're close, nobody's gonna notice. Nobody's crawling in there and looking at your work. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So don't worry if you don't get it perfect. Now, take all these off there. Now there's gonna be staples on the bottom of these. Sometimes they come out, but then you get the case like this one right here. You might have to have some pliers or something like that and pull it out. So, and you just take these legs and screw it in. There you go. So this is it. This is the table done. Now you can stop here and you can leave it just like this. This is probably what we're gonna do for now. Just because we like the color. But if you want, you can put a stain on there. You can paint. You can do whatever you want. It's just, whatever you like. Now, one thing you probably noticed when I bumped up against it, it's really wobbly. Now that doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. That could mean that either A, your ground is probably not level. It could be that your wood might be slightly warped, anything like that, but it's a really simple fix. So you find a piece like this, and then you just start unscrewing. You unscrew it just a little bit. And then there you go. Super nice and sturdy, and it's not wobbly anymore. So that's all you gotta do. It's not like the sturdiest table in the world. You don't want to sit on it, but it's nice for a little computer desk. But that's it. There you have it. That's all done.